What's up, everybody? My name is Josh Biddick, and I wanted to welcome you to a very special episode of Borderline Entertainment's Just Barely Reacting series. As many of you know, the Game Awards recently happened, and while we didn't have time to sit down and do a live reaction, we wanted to get together a fantastic group of panelists to sit down and talk about what we thought about the show. So I wanted to take the time to introduce these special people to you, and then we are going to get started. Of course, first up, we have the head honcho and the man behind the ones and twos, Mr. Asa Greenriver. Asa, how you doing?
I'm doing good. It was a little too nice of an intro, but I appreciate it so much. Dude, how are you doing?
I am fantastic, my friend, and of course, it is never too nice. I love your bow tie. You look adorable as always.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. Next up, we have the host of the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast, a man who is fantastic and super sweet. I'm talking about the one and only Joseph Moran. Joseph, how are you, good sir?
I thought you were introing Kyle. Hi. I'm happy to be here. I'm pumped to be here. I'm excited to talk some Game Awards.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. I know it's something you've been doing a lot lately. Is that correct?
Yeah, man. Yesterday we streamed for a good, 9 to 10 hours for Extra Life, and then we streamed our reactions to the Game Awards. So I'm very tired. I'm nothing but, I don't even know.
You're nothing but energy, and you're here with us, so I'm happy to have you. And of course, I am honored to introduce the next guest. Fantastic community and communications manager, wonderful streamer of just the nice, chill indie games. Mm-hmm. I am talking about none other than Rose City Games' very own Jenny Windom. Jenny, how are you doing?
I am great. I'm excited. I got dressed up.
Of course,
I feel
you look beautiful.
Fancy because we're talking about the Game Awards. Yeah, I'm excited.
Carpet.
Yeah, red carpet ready, all of us.
Exactly. Nice and red. So everyone, the Game Awards happened, and it was a banger of a show. There was so much that went on, so little in certain areas. But first off, I just kind of wanted to get everyone's general reactions. Jenny, what were your big thoughts from the whole show of the Game Awards?
I mean, honestly, I'm still trying to digest a lot of it because it was a longer show. Mm-hmm. But I think they did have a lot just to unpack in terms of there were a lot of world premieres, there were a lot of announcements, celebrities were there were people from not just the Games Center, but movies and Yep. I thought that was really neat and interesting to see that it was one of the moments where I was like, games have absolutely gone beyond just sort of this nerdy side hobby. Mm-hmm. And that was super apparent in this Games Awards. So
I totally agree. I think it's weird when you think back to the early days when they were on Spike and it was all gamers and fuel and we're going to show people in their underwear, to see this really well put together presented, that's not a word, well put together show that was just presented so, I don't know, professionally. It was really, really cool to see.
I was honestly most impressed with the production. It was remote.
Yes.
There was no dead air. Everyone was seamlessly transitioning. And as someone who has been on, all sorts of sides of those live events for, different, PAX was online this year. So many events have been online this year. Seeing the production, I was hands down, whoever did that deserves all the vacation time and a huge bonus, because whoever did that did a great job. The team. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Joseph, as someone who's been covering this a whole lot recently, what were your thoughts of the Game Awards?
I'm kind of right there with Jenny on this one. This was a fantastic show. And just seeing the production value of something that we've been working from home for months now. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of the amalgamation of all the mistakes that all these companies have made over the last few months when it comes to how do you connect to the audience. It seems like Jeff kind of understood, and he could, because he made some of those mistakes as well when it comes to the Summer Games Awards. Mm-hmm. And he had a very amazing, just well-run, well-oiled machine behind him where nothing crashed, nothing, broke down. There was little hitches in terms of internet here or there, but everybody was on point. And huge props to the production team, the people that put this together, because honestly, I feel like this is a good template for where other award show can really see where Jeff went here and really do it his way. Because honestly, even without a crowd, it was just something really special.
I completely agree. I was going to say, if you were to tell me, like, if you were to show me this and I didn't know about the hell of a year that 2020 has been and just told me this is what the Game Awards has always been, I would have totally believed you. Like, the fact that there wasn't a live audience, I didn't think detracted from the show at all. Like,
No.
like Jenny was saying,
No.
it ran flawlessly. Like, it was incredible. Everyone was on, like, everyone was ready except Sean Murray the one time because he didn't think he was going to win, which was really adorable. But like, yeah, there weren't any hiccups, and we've all been there. Like, even recording podcasts like this, there are those technical glitches where like someone drops out or Discord just like loses all the audio in the middle of a live show. But no, this ran so smooth. It was really, really cool. Asa, how about yourself, my friend? What was your big takeaway from the Game Awards?
Yeah, so my big takeaway was that this is probably going to be the format that we're going to see from now on. Like, I definitely think that there's a time, Lord willing, that we get some sort of cure for COVID and we can be around each other again, like still social distance, because I just don't want a cold at all or anything. But no, I think, like, you know, once we eventually go back to a live format where there's people in the crowds, I think you're still going to see like this level of production from just a digital perspective. So like, I could totally see them, you know, maybe not selling tickets for an online version, but I could just see them taking the format that they've done now and just doing this for the rest of time. And so that if you're watching it from home or if you're watching it live, like, you're getting a top tier live production. Because like, if you think about past years, the production like hasn't been that great, and there's been like some definite lag. Like, you felt like you had to be in the seats in the audience to be getting the full effect, and I don't feel like that was the case this year. I feel like, first of all, I was super glad that we didn't get commercials that didn't pertain to like what I was actually watching. Like, I loved every commercial, I loved every discussion, every interview. I know we'll probably talk about it later, but it was super dope that we saw so many people that we know, like, on the Game Awards. Like, that was seeing so many voices highlighted. This was probably in that regard, my favorite iteration of the Game Awards. And then, of course, like, there are things that I think that they could have improved on, but we'll probably talk about that stuff later.
No, for sure. Yeah. I think it was really cool just to see how, like I said, how well everything worked, how inclusive it was. It feels like Jeff is really honing in on what the Game Awards need to be after so much practice. I think it's clear to say that Jeff Keighley cares about video games and the community, I think, more than anyone on planet Earth. Like, no one puts in the dedication, the time, and continues to grow, I think, as much as Jeff Keighley. And I think that was really, really shown in these Game Awards.
Absolutely.
So one thing I want to talk about is the actual award part of the show itself. Personally, I felt like the awards were almost like kind of like like offhand, right? They were Harry Potter underneath the stairs. They weren't really the main focus of the Game Awards, which I think is interesting. I feel because this year was so weird, because we didn't have an E3 and Jeff had taken up the mantle with Summer Game Fest, a lot of the award show felt like, hey, here are really cool announcements, here are the shows. Because there was even a couple times like, hey, here's some big categories of awards, and we're just going to like rip them off like right after each other. Did you guys kind of get that feel at all?
Definitely.
I think that was my only critique is, for lack of a better word, it felt more like an infomercial of like, here's all the cool games, hype, let's sell games for next year, more than, hey, let's celebrate the games that are here right now. Because there is a moment in that show where, you know, it was just like, we're going to do, I think, like 3 to 5 awards in less than 45 seconds.
Right.
And it's like, no, I'm here for the pageantry of celebrating the games because we've all been through so much, especially the devs. Let's celebrate them. But it seems more commercial this year. But I will say, in the same regard, it's awesome that, like, we had a Gillette spot and not a Gillette man. You know, where like the Gillette spot was celebrating, I think, Latinx people. That's the part I unfortunately missed. But like, yeah, we didn't have any of those cringy, like, half humanoid, half shaving thing.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think one of the improvements or one of the critiques I have for next time is try and, like, I would have loved to see just a little bit more of the devs, a little bit more of them being able to like bask in that glow of having won an award. I do think that yeah, we're in this sort of interesting situation because of E3. We didn't have that sort of massive announcements that we probably would have had. And maybe some of these, I don't know if they necessarily got pushed from E3 to here, but it definitely sort of made things feel different. And I don't think the show had like, I hesitate to say it went as far as like an identity sort of crisis, but I do think that moving forward, setting sort of expectations on what kind of show to go into that people can expect. Because I think I was talking with a few friends, and I think they came into it thinking it was more of the awards, and they were just sort of like, why are we seeing all these premieres? And other people kind of going in knowing, hey, this is going to be not only in time for awards, but probably also like there's going to be a lot of marketing here as well. And I think sort of that kind of expectation is one that shows will always, be asking themselves as they continue to evolve. But I think this year it probably was more apparent, maybe because of not having E3 as well.
Jenny, do you think there is a perfect balance between like highlighting the creators and showing the cool content? Because I think, like the Oscars, they don't like show big trailers for new movies and everything. It's really about the industry, which I think is fantastic. And granted, maybe that's more what the DICE Awards are for. But because so many big announcements have happened in Game Awards past, it feels like 9 times out of 10, that's what the general audience is there for.
I think, yeah, it kind of all depends on just how the Game Awards, I think, just sets the expectation for its audience. I personally just would have loved a little bit more of the devs because that also is where my interests lie. But I wouldn't mind it either way, just kind of knowing just before the show more of what I'd get into. I think this year they had so much great stuff happening, so it's not like a knock on the show itself. But I would have I would have loved to see more of the devs.
Totally get it. Hey, so what are your feelings on the award to announcement ratio?
Yeah, I was definitely let down a little bit because I wanted to see more of those awards, and like the one that really stuck out to me in particular was like I think it was like the fighting game award.
Yeah.
For that just to be like read off and like, oh, congratulations to Mortal Kombat 11, and it's like, this feels like a big enough category, and it's like it's Mortal Kombat 11 that there should have been some sort of moment where like somebody was talking about it, and there was just like multiple moments like that, aside from like the big ones where also I have to say I thought it was a little weird to have like for the big awards like all the devs on the screen, and then when the person won, the rest of them just like died and fell off.
I
and
know,
then
they like fell into the
like,
abyss.
I'm like, I know it's not technically disrespectful, but it felt like so cold. I'm like, bye, you don't matter, you come forth. And I was just
I especially felt bad for like, there was one part where the Ghost of Tsushima devs, and maybe because I have a soft spot for that game, but like they had like the two guys are standing right in front of this huge banner for like Ghost, and then like it's like a game of the year goes to Last of Us, and you're just like boop, it's like end call. I'm like, oh no. But in the same way though, Asa, I do like that it was. I feel like the best you can do in that situation, because I do like how those moments were live because it felt more real, especially when the Among Us team, like when they're all freaking out the first time, and the one lady's like crying, and I'm just like, I'm gonna cry, stop crying, stop it.
But that was amazing.
Totally
Like I wanted to see, I wanted to see more moments like that from the other devs who, or just like not just devs, but like even I don't know, some of the creators or whoever that won. Like, I just wanted to see more of that. And I think outside of making the show, like, it was already like 3.5 hours. Outside of making it like 4 or 5 hours long, I feel like we're kind of stuck with this format, or like lessening the ad space, which I know, like, as a marketing professional, like, I know that Jeff Keighley, like, he has to have that on there. Otherwise, like, they're not going to be able to do this again. So it's just like, it's a really tough spot. But I'm with Jenny. Like, I just wanted more of seeing the people who won, instead of it just being like read off really quickly and they're just like thrown off.
I totally agree. I think Jeff Keighley has to have this like tightrope act, right? Like Asa, you said, he has to be able to pay the bills, especially for a show that looks so good. It's going to cost a lot of money. Yeah. And I can't even think about like what was just happening in the back end, right? Just to keep the show running. And it was like playing live in like from 3 different places in the world, right? It was like Tokyo, America, and the third place that escapes me at the moment. But I know that like that takes a lot of stuff. So I understand kind of like the marketing, because as much as it is for the games themselves, it is to promote the Game Awards. And I know we had a lot of celebrities in the Game Awards this year, which I think was really cool. And Asa, like you said, the fighting game, it was cool to see Ralph Macchio and the actor whose name escapes me, who plays Chosen in Karate Kid 2, like present for fighting game. Like that made sense. But it also felt really, really rushed. And like, I know it was a little scripted bit, but it was kind of awkward because you know they had to get to the next thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Especially
if like,
Machio was just like, "I do. Let's finish this up. I got a paycheck coming."
right. And I don't know if like a longer show is the answer or just a really nice tight 2-hour show. If that means less like world premieres, which did I say world premiere every time it came up? Of course I did.
Premiere.
Exactly.
So I don't know if that's the answer. A nice tighter show or what? It's hard because it feels like every year you want to change something, but I also feel like every year it gets better than before.
I feel like
I think
go ahead.
it's in time.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's in time. I think as the show gets bigger and more eyes are on it, I think then more of that space becomes more expensive, and so maybe that means they could create a tighter show. So maybe instead of a 3.5-hour show, they could cut 30 minutes of it for that a nice 3-hour show. Because I was saying to Kyle, my co-host, it felt like towards the end, it felt like if you ever watched WWE, it felt like a Monday Raw where it went a little bit too long. Like we're in the third hour and we're just kind of tired of seeing people tackle each other. Like that's what it kind of got towards the end of it. You know?
Yeah.
You know-
I think from just my because I do like marketing and events as well, and I think like you always want to leave people wanting more, and so I think that would be my strongest argument if we were to make one to Jeff Keighley to tighten it up just a little bit, just personally, because I didn't want to be tired because I was enjoying myself, but after a while, just especially because we were watching in front of a computer screen,
Right.
I think. I don't really watch like the Grammys or the Oscars, but I feel like those are also very hefty shows. But again, I think their focus isn't necessarily on like new world premieres, and they're on celebrating the industry. And so especially if we're doing world premieres at the end of a 3-hour stint, I also kind of felt for the folks at the end of that 3-hour stint premiering something because that they've probably lost a lot of that like energy that, obviously Smash kicked off the night. So that was
For sure.
that was the wildest way to start the show, I feel like. But I was also thinking in terms of, you'd mentioned sort of the celebrity, and I talked about it as well in terms of it's really cool that we had celebrities from like movies and films come in. And I think I also would have loved to see more folks from the dev side of thing or like the industry, not even
100%.
developers, but other people in the industry maybe get elevated to that status of introducing more. Because I don't know, but I wonder sometimes if like the games industry feels like it has to prove it's on the level of movies or the music industry, and they bring in celebrities to show we're on that level. And like we did it. I don't think we have to do it anymore. And so it'd be nice to like see developers and people in the industry get elevated to the status of like they get the cameo to host something. And maybe the Oscars will ask us to come and introduce stuff. I don't know.
That'd be really cool.
But yeah, I think that would be kind of cool too.
I can only imagine Shroud presenting for
Right.
best sound design.
I feel like characters, that's not a good word. I think like personalities like that in the gaming industry are the ones that like you typically would see. Like I'm pretty sure that Ninja did something like that at one of the major awards, but I could be wrong. I just know he was at
Maybe.
the ball drop and did something and flossed in front of people, and it was super awkward.
Masked singer.
But
It was the worst.
to like going back to like the time saver piece, and I know like we got a schedule, but I think that it would be cool because there was a pre-show. Like, what if you not to like monetize it even more and to like really like pull money from people, but I'm thinking if you've got Nintendo and Microsoft and Sony that are like putting money behind getting some of these world premieres, like not to say that they should just outbid everybody, but I think it would be cool if some of the announcements came out of the actual show and went into the pre-show. Like, don't put it at the end and make people wait longer, but make the pre-show hype and just get people excited, and then that makes room for the actual awards. Because like in talking about the video game industry trying to find validity amongst the Oscars and the Emmys and everything, like they don't do this. Like they don't do world premieres and trailers, and this is a celebration. This is like people won, let's give them these awards. Like if if this is supposed to be an award show, let's make it an award show. Like, have the announcements still, but like, don't be unapologetic and stick with your true vision is what I would prefer to see.
I think that's a great idea. And I hope one day we actually see that and kind of realize that maybe it's not the celebrities we need to validate ourselves, but it is the people within our community, you know, the content creators, the game designers, the people who spend and sometimes risk their whole lives just to make a game. I think when we as a community can recognize those people as the celebrities of gaming, I think that'll be a really big step forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think we've talked about the award portion a whole lot, but much like the Game Awards, we're going to kind of push that to the side. And we are going to talk about some world premieres. Thank you for laughing. I'm really proud of that. I thought about that for a while.
Yeah.
Dunking on him.
So much was announced. I think, you know, to kick the show off, and of course I want to hear from you all, but to kick the show off with Sephiroth coming to Super Smash Brothers. When they said they were going to announce a Smash character, I knew it was going to be a big deal because the last time they announced a Smash character at the Game Awards, it was my boy Joker, which was fantastic. Shout out to the Persona 5 band playing that super dope version from Scramble,
cool.
and I was feeling it the whole time. But Sephiroth comes in, and we get moments of Sephiroth and Cloud. And was I quoting their whole fight scene from Advent Children and my girlfriend looking at me like I was crazy, and then I knew Cloud was going to do Omni/Slash version 5? Yes, all of that happened, and it was magical. Like, I don't know, what were your guys' thoughts when you see Sephiroth slice through that like master hand business and then kill Mario?
I watched it post. Like, I didn't get to see that happen live. So when I actually like got to watch the trailer itself, it was spoiled a little bit because it said the character that's coming, but the moment itself was like, it was so intense. And I have to say, the first time that I really saw it was like on Twitter, and I apologize, I'm not like giving credit to who made it, but somebody actually did that splice together of that moment in Advent Children and like the actual Smash announcement, and it just gave me all the feels. Like, I was so cool. I wanted so many other people for Smash, but I'm happy with the announcement. I'm super excited, and he's really hot.
Yes.
I saw him
Yes.
with his shirt off.
The shirtless version. Ooh,
Shirtless
boy.
version.
You know, Final Fantasy VII, man, these characters. We gotta talk about this after the show.
They need to
They're
like.
For
much.
me, I'm not a Final Fantasy VII or not a Final Fantasy person. I enjoyed Final Fantasy VII Remake. That was the first one I ever beat. So that is, gotta let that on the line here. Seeing my co-host Kyle, who is a huge Final Fantasy fan, who loves 7, though he says 8 is his favorite. And I don't know if that's a wrong opinion or not.
I
but
really like
yell at
it.
him.
So.
I agree with that opinion.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it because at the beginning you were talking about how much you like 7, but I like 8 better than 7.
8 is my like personal favorite.
Squall.
I think.
Hello.
10 was my first,
Listen.
so like it holds. 10's my favorite.
But a
I'll let Kyle know there's 3 more out there.
Yeah.
There's
But,
3 more
like,
Final
get
Fantasy games, if you didn't know.
Get jackets. Little patches on the arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, so seeing his reaction, that sold me. And like, you know, a lot of people were like, you know, I personally want Master Chief. That's all I've ever wanted. And I know I run a PlayStation show, but like, that's what I want. I want Master Chief to finish the fight in Smash Brothers. So I'll always stand for that. But seeing some of the rumors, I was like a Fortnite character. I was like, oh, it makes sense. Sadly, I don't want that, but probably gonna happen. So seeing Sephiroth there, it was a sigh of relief, and it also goes with the whole flow of like Smash is now at this point where they're just celebrating iconic or even just cult classic video game characters of yesteryear. So Sephiroth made total sense, and I gotta say, when they did the sword thing with Mario, I was like, finally, someone has killed this deranged plumber, this madman. And then when they did it, like when he's just hanging him by his like pantaloon, I was like,
Pantaloon.
so
my gosh.
so clever, big props, and like that's how you know they just get it.
Yeah.
And so I love the reveal, even not being like a diehard fan, I really did. I loved it.
Yeah, I don't really play Smash, but it was incredible. You know, I had it on my second monitor, and I was working at the same time since the show started when I was still at work, and like, yeah, I saw the little sort of speckles of the dark like the particles. And I
Yeah.
was like, that looks like Final Fantasy VII. And then that first note of One Winged Angel, I don't know. It was like the quickest but most minute, like whiplash I think I've ever gotten, because I was just like, what the fuck? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't play Smash, but honestly, seeing Sephiroth in it, I was like, maybe I'll pick up Smash finally.
Might as well.
I
So
always
they-
say that too because I'm not a Smash person either. Like I tried it and then I went all digital. I dropped it, and like every time I see it, I'm like, man, maybe I should pick it up. But that's like the epitome of Smash is like the hype, the
Yeah.
hype
Yeah.
for those reveals at
Yeah.
this point. I love it.
Yeah, it
And
was
at the end
fun.
of the day, I think we can all agree that One Winged Angel is such a slap. Like, if you put that game in anything, I'm going to want to buy that game because I just want more ways to listen to One Winged Angel.
So true.
So I think other than, like, obviously I said, like, Smash was my, like, big, oh my God moment for the Game Awards, and it kicked it off. What were some of your guys', like, Jenny, what was your big game announcement that really had you going?
You know, there were two.
Okay.
So the first one that I was just like, that looks just freaking cool, was called Back for Blood. And
Yes.
that's because, so I think folks who are familiar with my content and with the types of games I normally play, I actually don't go for zombie guns, nothing like that. But the Left 4 Dead series is a franchise that I'm just like, I love Left 4 Dead. I think it's so good. And to see Back for Blood, which is like just that like spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, it was just
Yeah.
so exciting to see, and it looks so good.
Can I just
Yes.
say that seeing somebody so passionate about Left 4 Dead makes me so freaking excited.
Yay!
So, and also
It's
like
so
quick plug,
good.
because this is like the Borderline Entertainment channel, twitch.tv/Borderline Entertainment. I've been streaming going through the Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 campaigns on Fridays. So I'm doing it tonight. Just throwing
Oh
it
my
out there.
gosh.
Go.
So
Oh my
Jenny,
gosh.
if you ever want to squad up, it's out there. But I'm going to segue
Duly
that
noted.
into my I cannot wait for this. I'm so
Yeah.
mad that we never got Left 4 Dead 3, and at this point I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'll take anything. And shoot, what was the one that was like big monsters? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Evolved?
Evolve. Like there was
Yeah.
Evolve, and then like there were a few other clones that just like didn't do it. I think the only like remotely similar game that I was able to get into was Payday. But even that just like doesn't scratch the itch that is Left 4 Dead. Like nothing, everything can copy it, but nothing can actually beat it. And to like not only see the magic and like the love that clearly is in it, and you just knew. Like if you're a Left 4 Dead fan, you saw the trailer, you just knew what it was. But like to see like the quality of life improvements, like you can now aim down the sights and it's in 4K and 60 FPS.
It's so
Like
beautiful.
I'm gonna miss
Also,
the,
not an original thought.
what?
And I'm stealing this from Kyle. I love when you're going through the gameplay session. The guy's missing his shots. It's not perfect.
Yes.
There's no like cringy like he's on your 6. Like it's none of that. I love it. It's
Yeah.
just like give me gameplay.
Yeah.
You see like and then like you see one part that's obviously staged, but like they do it well enough where like when the guy gets like killed by the big monstrosity thing.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, yeah, I'm totally there with you guys. I have very fond memories for way different reasons for that game, for that series. But yeah, I'm so in on this game. June 22nd, 2021.
Yeah, sounds right.
Can't come soon enough.
And there's just there's just too much to love about it. Like new guns, new zombies. I'm just sorry. I just want to gush
Yeah.
about it because it was one of my huge highlights of the show.
Yep, same. Like I was so, yeah, I just can't even, because I wasn't expecting it. I think I
No.
had just kind of like I
Really caught me off guard.
it just never thought that we would see that in this show, and so I think that was like the biggest and best surprise for me.
Yeah.
What I'm really excited about is I never got into the Left 4 Dead games, and that's because I'm a huge baby. Scary things make me cry. I get too
not that
scared.
scary.
Like my girlfriend loves horror movies, and that sucks because that means I have to watch a lot of horror movies. My life is so difficult. But like I remember when Left 4 Dead was coming out, they were talking about like, hey, we've got this system in the game where if you're doing really well, we're gonna make it scarier, and like we can tell if you're missing shots or you're shaking, we'll like tone it down. And the idea of like, if I play well, I'm going to be scared more, horrified me because I didn't want like things to jump out at me and spook me. And Back for Blood, I feel like is a little, and I know this will sound weird, a little more lighthearted than Left 4 Dead. Like the characters are joking around. There's some quips. Like I think the character we saw the point of view from, like he's yelling at zombies, like take that. And I know sometimes that stuff may sound cheesy or goofy or a little over the top, but for me that made it feel more inviting. Like, oh, okay, this is still scary and it's going to be overwhelming and tough. But like I think this is one like I could actually get into and have a little bit more fun with and not like cry in a corner when I get too
Dude,
scared.
you need to play Left 4 Dead because that's the same
It's
thing.
really
Like
fun.
they do that.
Yeah.
Like the whole like quips and
Okay.
like, oh, take that, or like, hey, watch where you're shooting. Like just I'm a Lewis stan, just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Like the things that Lewis says are so like quirky and like just off base sometimes that I think you would be perfectly fine.
Okay. I will have to give it now that I'm older and
Yeah.
more wise, I'd like to say, and have gray hair.
yeah.
I will take my my first step into Left 4 Dead.
Yes, you should. I don't play horror games typically, and
Okay.
I highly recommend it.
Okay, that gives me
I
a
don't
little
do
bit more
horror
confidence.
movies, but I love horror games.
Okay.
Like that's my thing. I can't like something like I saw Midsummer this summer, and that thing kept me awake. I can't do it, but like you give me Resident Evil any day. There's something about like, well, at least I have the shotgun that, that I love. I don't know.
So, Joseph, what was your big like, whoa, oh my gosh, I can't believe this game is here moment?
Let's see, two. One's very fast.
Go for it.
Master Chief in Fortnite,
Yeah.
Blood Gulch in Fortnite.
Yes.
Again,
We can
I
definitely
credit a
stop
lot of
and talk
Halo
about
as to
that.
why I love video games today. So when I was able to purchase the Master Chief on my PlayStation 5 and play Blood Gulch on my PlayStation 5 and have him wield the Leviathan axe from God of War, I literally, once I heard he was in the game, I was like, okay, I know I have this stream, but I'm going in, I'm buying this immediately, ASAP. The second one is the Callisto Protocol, because this is from a team, it looks like the skeleton crew of like Visceral, one of the founders. I think he left a Sledgehammer for this.
I believe you're correct.
Yeah, it's pretty much, he's in a prison. You see this prisoner wake up, and something creepy is going on. You see there's a robot, but it looks like it may be something's got into it, like in Gears 5, where those sticky things get into the Sentinels. And he's wondering what's going on. He's like trying to wake up his bunkmate, and the bunkmate wakes up, but he's reanimated in this creepy space thing. And you're like, oh, obviously this guy's the main character because he has something similar to that of Isaac Clarke, where he has like the green dog tag on embedded in his neck. Obviously, this is the main character. No, this guy gets his face sucked off like 30 seconds into it, and as he screams, you see there's like a surveillance camera.
Yeah.
And to quote Kyle yet again, it kind of gave us Cabin in the Woods feels, where it's like,
Okay.
someone's watching this all happen and they're totally maybe fine with it. And you see that it's kind of on the moon. So maybe even giving me a little bit of like Doom vibes where, you know, demons break out on Mars. So then hearing Mr. Schofield, I know his last name, come out and go, we're set out to make the scariest freaking game
Yep.
ever
Dude,
made.
that shook me when he said that.
I
I was
was
like,
shaking.
"Oh, I'm out. I'm not doing
I was
that."
like, no, I'm like, dude, are you the guy that put the needle in Isaac's eye? Because that one scared me. And you're saying you're gonna what? You're gonna do 2 needles? You have 3 needles? What is it? I'm in.
Gave him more eyes and stab all of the eyes.
Exactly.
No, anything with the eyes, just don't do that.
That's why I wear glasses
Space
so I
is-
can see and protect my eyes.
Dead Space is one of my favorite games of all time, and so you give me this. And if this is the only way I'm able to get a Dead Space game, so be it.
I think you're right. Like I know, I've always been really like attracted to the idea of Dead Space. Again, big baby. I could never play it, but I liked people watching. Like I liked watching people play it because like it seems so cool and like
Yeah.
the world they built, I was fascinated by. So to get something else like that, and I honestly I'm pretty excited to see it, whether I play it or not, or maybe Joseph, I'll watch you stream it or something like that. I'm really
Maybe.
juiced for.
My only question for it too is, okay, if this is a spiritual successor to Dead Space, the cool thing about the Necromorphs was being able to shoot their limbs off because they have these sharp talons, and then being able to stasis those talons and shoot them back at them. Is there something like this in this game? Because like, what is their equivalent to the plasma cutter?
First
That's
game's a
what I want to know.
masterpiece. The first one is
Yeah, I know.
so good.
And the second one too. They're two different type of. I'm getting on a rant. Two different type of horrors, but they're both like so top. Oh God, so good. Jenny,
your
you know how
passion,
you
Jessica. I
got
love it
with
so
the
much.
Sephiroth theme?
Yeah.
This is
I'm
me.
like, I feel that. I feel that.
I love it. I love it. Hey, so what was your big wow moment?
Oh man, I want to go back to Fortnite if we can,
For sure.
because like we knew that it was going to happen. It was rumored and then confirmed, but there's something about just like seeing him in the game.
Yep.
I haven't done the Blood Gulch stuff, but I went ahead and you know, I got my Master Chief and the little Warhog, but it was, I don't know, was anyone else like just like really taken back? I don't know if anyone else is a big like Halo person, like to where you get emotional, like when that weird dude opened the freezer and you could just hear the monk
Oh, yeah.
chants. I felt
Dude,
like
when he
chills.
jumped out, I jumped.
Yes, I was like, oh my gosh, like I knew it was coming, but yes, please.
Like
all
I
of
got,
this.
I got the rifle right here, the Nerf rifle. This is my life
Dang.
right there.
Did you get that from
Yes.
Butterfinger? Because I've been hollering at them. Like, come on.
No, I'm not in the Butterfinger money. No.
Dude, I need that Butterfinger money. I need that Butterfinger
I need
money.
that Butterfinger like little like beanie.
I want the
That's what
beanie.
need.
I
The
know. I was like, I
sweatshirt.
want the beanie.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Butterfinger, come on, let's go. But,
Shout out
Yeah.
to
no,
you,
the,
Sorry,
Butterfinger.
Commissioner.
Here
The
at Borderline
Fortnite's-
Entertainment, we'll eat Butterfingers as long as you give us things.
Dude, I love
Give
Butterfingers.
us stuff.
I know. I was like, I love
I
Butterfinger.
will snack on them, like, get that crunchy peanut butter brittle stuck in my teeth any day of the week. I don't care what my dentist says. But no, like, Fortnite did so well. By showing off Master Chief, doing the red versus blue stuff, like it was classic.
That hit me in
Yeah.
my childhood directly.
So hard. I could have like done without the whole like Michonne Walking Dead thing. Like that wasn't that big. But the next biggest thing for me, sorry, is Perfect Dark. I don't know what to say besides this is everything that needs to happen in the world right now because I love Perfect Dark. I think it's better than GoldenEye. I love GoldenEye, but I thought it was better than GoldenEye. Perfect Dark Zero had flaws, but it was a lot of fun. But we just
I love
need,
Perfect Dark Zero.
dude, it's so good. Like we just need like more strong female like BA characters who actually wear armor that is appropriate for their bodies when they're in a firefight. I don't know what game that was, and sorry if you are the ones who
Oh,
made
with the
it.
shield?
Yeah, where she had the shield, but like she just had a breastplate, and then like her abs were showing, which
That
props to
wasn't a
you.
breastplate.
I
That
don't
was like a
have
sports
them.
bra. I mean, like,
Yeah, but like if you're in a firefight, getting shot in the stomach is like something I don't want, and it's like I thought that we were past that phase in game development. Like I thought that was like in early 2000s, and like
But Asa, her abs are made out of steel, so they just bounce right off.
but like
There you go. Yeah, bulletproof abs.
even my wife was like, who would wear that?
Bullets.
But like, yeah, so to see Joanna Dark with that undercut and everything, like from the back at the end,
Yep.
I was like, yes, babe, please give me the laptop gun. Give me like, nobody talks about how Perfect Dark has like the best. It's like called counter co-op where you're playing together in the story, but one person is actually playing as like the NPCs in the game.
Okay.
Yep.
Trying to stop Joanna. And so like every time Joanna kills them, they just respawn as another NPC. But like it's just so much fun. Sorry, and now it's turning into like a Joanna Dark like thing, but
I'm all for it.
I'm so excited. Is anyone else like hyped for Perfect Dark?
So I'm a fan of Perfect Dark, but like my memory of it isn't as strong as it once was.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I'm right there with you, dude. More badass women characters. I get it. We'll have Mr. SJW over here. But like one of my favorite things ever in Star Wars is when Rey gets the lightsaber. Because all of a
Yes.
sudden, I imagine a little girl has a Luke Skywalker, and that makes me happy. So seeing these big companies go, you know what? Like seeing Sony go, you know what? We're gonna make our, flagship protagonist. When you think of PlayStation, you're gonna think of, this young, lesbian as our protagonist, and like think about that, back in 2008, that would have, what are you crazy?
Right.
A female on the cover,
Yeah.
let alone like she's she's queer, like no way. And seeing that is awesome. So like seeing Gears celebrate with Kate putting her on the cover and her being such a main focal point, and now like reviving Joanna Dark, like that just makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited because I know about Perfect Dark. I know about the series, like the franchise, but I actually never got to play it myself back in the day. And so it's really exciting because like I look at this and I'm like, this is like so many games that are kind of being brought back and whether it's a spiritual successor or a remake or what have you. It's nice because I'm like, I'm finally going to be able to like access this world and this story and this character that like I've watched people play it, on streams and on YouTube, and I know about it because it's just in our like cultural zeitgeist. But now I get to play it, which is really exciting.
If you have,
And to think too,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, just a little small rant. To think like that, if this team has a question about Joanna, or where like what her motivations are, whatever in the world, they could just literally knock on the door of Rare, go, "Hey gang, what's going on? Anybody work on Perfect Dark back in the day?" And have that input is so freaking cool.
Yeah. And if you have Rare Replay, like if you got an Xbox One, you got Rare Replay, that's a great way to check out both the games because they ported the 64 version onto, or sorry, they ported the N64 version onto the Xbox 360, and it's a great port. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
highly
Same.
recommend.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for the Perfect Dark fans because it was a game I missed out on, but one I definitely want to check out. But I know how much this game means to people, so like that's what I'm most excited for. Like everyone has those games that like, they want to come back, and when it does, I'm just so happy for those
Yeah.
fans because they care so much. Like seeing Joseph go off was awesome. Like I love that,
Yeah.
right? And Joseph, kind of like you said, like one thing that's been really cool for me in my gaming adventure in the most recent years is like seeing my girlfriend be able to play games with strong female characters, right? Because when she was growing up, she never got to do that. It was just all butch white guys, and to see her like play The Last of Us and like just be in love with Ellie and even Abby, who's a crazy strong, both physically and emotional character, and then like her favorite game. Horizon, or one of her favorite games, playing Horizon Zero Dawn and like playing Aloy, this super smart, intellectual, and crazy strong character. Like that's been so cool for me to see, and also realizing how important that is to other people.
Yeah.
Not only just gaming culture, to be able to like, hey, women are strong too, and you can play a game as a woman. And if you are a man and you get upset about it, like you've been playing games as guys forever, so like let's change the story a little bit, you know?
You go pick another one of 1,000. And
Right.
you know what this just reminded me of too, Josh? The fact that like a few weeks ago, the creative director was just like, so my daughter couldn't go to sleep, so she's going to be playing the first level of our new Untitled game, and let's just say she's impressed or something along those lines. Damn it, that little girl. She has a role model. She's literally playing her. Like that's,
It's so
man,
cool.
that's awesome. I love
It's
it.
so cool.
Yeah.
So we talked about fantastic role models for young women. I'm going to change it up a little bit, and I'm going to ask you guys a serious question I have. Is Vin Diesel the new Hideo Kojima of the Game Awards? Hideo Kojima was really big. We all know how much Jeff loves Hideo. He Kojima-san was always there. He was showing off big games. Last year, Mr. Diesel came out and announced Fast and Furious Crossroads.
Oh, that was last year?
This year.
That was last year.
Mr. Diesel, Sir Vincent Diesel came in and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna ride and fight dinosaurs." Like,
was
what
so
is he gonna do next
confused.
year? Is he
Yeah.
gonna like announce not only the next Fast 10 game, but like I don't know. Seeing Vin Diesel blew me away, for better or worse.
Dude, when I saw that it was Arc 2, I was like, that's what it is? That's what this
Right.
game is? Like, all of the memes
Did you
and
think it was
jokes were
Turok as
hilarious.
well?
No,
Dwayne
I
Turok
didn't think it was
Johnson, I saw
Turok.
that
I
going
thought
on.
it was a new
Rock
IP.
Johnson.
Not my joke.
Oh,
I saw
okay.
it.
Yeah, I thought it.
Yeah, I thought it was a new IP as well.
Yeah.
See, Kyle got me hyped on this is Turok, and then when I saw the T-Rex, I was like, oh, this is Turok. But like, okay, here's the thing. Like, part of it is problematic because like there's this tribe, right? Like they kind of have this Aztec thing going on for them, and then their leader is this white dude.
Yeah.
But we're not confused on that. We're not outraged by it because it's Vin Diesel. Now instead
Dude,
of
I was
outrage,
so
we
outraged.
replace that feeling.
Just so you know.
Oh, you
Like,
were?
as an indigenous native person, I was like, there are so many levels in which I'm not okay with this. But
Yes.
I was so bewildered that it happened
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
that it wasn't until after the trailer came out and like we were planning this and we're like going through the list of games. I'm like, oh, right, that was a thing. And then I was starting to get really mad. And I'm like, I know so
It
many people
literally
who
struck
love
me-
Ark, but like, this is not okay. Just saying.
Yeah. Like it literally, like, because I was just like, wait, this is a little messed up.
This is like
And then
Dances
it
with
just
Wolves
became-
stuff. Like, come on. We don't need a
Yes.
white
Yeah.
savior. Come on.
No. And so like that feeling of like, actually, no, this is actually really screwed up, really hit me in like the day after where it registered that Vin Diesel's gonna be in this game.
After you cope with the fact that, like, wait, that was Vin fucking Diesel. What is he doing here?
Well, and that's like one of the things that, like, kind of going back to, like, not only is it inappropriate just for like cultural reasons, but it was bewildering also just on that surface level of like, what is Vin Diesel doing here?
Right.
Like, I'm just a little confused.
It just like,
And I don't know,
didn't
maybe there's like a
fit.
joke or something that I don't understand, but I felt very confused
Vin
by the
Diesel
whole
has
thing.
stock in the Game Awards.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was so, because part of me I was like, okay, this is Turok, and then like he's fighting these other like invaders that are in there, and I was just like, oh, okay, maybe is this like the Mortal Kombat team? I know they're working on something totally different because now this is kind of giving me maybe something in their wheelhouse somewhere in their art style kind of evoke that feeling. And then they enter this cave after this little girl just saw like someone get eaten alive, and she's like, all right with this, like. She's able to make a goofy face at one of them that's like about to die. Then they enter a cave, and then it's all futuristic.
Yeah, that
And I'm
I was like, what is happening?
and then I'm like, wait, what is this? Now I'm scared that this is like part of like Horizon Zero
I
Dawn.
was horrified that
I
it was
was
going to be some
horrified
Horizon
that
Zero
this was-
Dawn stuff. I was like,
Yes.
like if you're telling me like Aloy is going to team up with Vin Diesel, I'm flipping the table.
Sign
Like that would
me
be
up.
horrible.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And so-
that would have been my exit from the Horizon Zero Dawn.
100%.
Exactly. That would have been my, because I'm like, there's no way. So there was a sense of relief when I found out it was Ark 2. But what the hell?
So I'm glad we were all able to get our frustration with Sir Vincent Diesel out. I'm horrified and scared to see what he does next year in the Game Awards. But as we start to get towards the end of the show, I do want to hit on some feel-good moments that I felt happened during the Game Awards. Get that diesel taste out of our mouth, the smell of gas. But so like one thing I thought was really cool was the Latinx in gaming highlight reel that kind of happened. I thought that was phenomenal. Like Joseph,
Yeah.
I know unfortunately you missed that, but since then have you been able to kind of catch up on what happened at all?
No, because ever since then I've been in this like I got
Yeah, that's a
4
good
hours
point.
of sleep haze. It sucks that this was because again, as a Hispanic, I would love to see some Latinx people get some representation that we desperately need in this you know that we've touched upon as so many times. It's awesome to see really amazing people get some credit that they very much deserve.
Yeah.
And yeah, awesome. I don't need to see the moment to know it's awesome.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So next big thing I want to highlight, like the future class, right? We've been talking about kind of the future
Yeah.
class. It's been this big thing for a moment. I want to shout out to every single person who made it on. Like you all deserve it. You are fantastic creators. Congratulations to you. I can't wait to see what these people get to do now that they've really been recognized in this way. Like,
And so many
what were
friends
your
of
guys'
ours,
big
like-
thoughts on the whole like future class idea as a concept?
I think the idea of the future class as a concept is phenomenal. It was another one of those things, like as we were talking about earlier about like we wish the awards would have gotten more of a spotlight. I wish that future class would have been a bigger deal
For sure.
because the lead up as we're seeing like I mean like even myself, you know, like was, you know, tweeting about it and so many of our friends were tweeting about it and to see our friends get it and like that was amazing. I wanted to see more of it. Like I wanted to see Zach's face. Like I wanted to see Blessing's face. Like I wanted to see so many people like spotlighted, like tell me more about why they were selected and what they're doing. And like,
Yeah.
I thought it was super cool that they did the one thing about the doctor guy who made the game that can be prescribed. Like, that's awesome. But
Yep. That was the
do
thing.
stuff like that, but with all, I realize there's 50 and it's like you can only do so much, but like, come on. Like, I just wanted that to be a bigger aspect of the show, like I thought it was going to be.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, and again, going back to like, I would have loved if they had done, because I know that they had selected these folks really close right up to the run of show.
Right.
But if they could push that back so that maybe the future class could not only have maybe segments to introduce themselves, and so we can get to know our
Yeah.
community as a whole, maybe like they could have a part like hosting the show. They could, because so many
100%.
of them also have that capability of, and like I know that the clout and the recognition has to be there to a certain extent. You know, that's what they're looking for with hosts. But like these people have it. Like let them celebrate with the gaming community, with people, their peers who respect them. I was very happy to see that this happened. Like love the folks that got selected.
Yeah.
It was amazing to
Yeah.
see friends be recognized for that. I would love to see more like geographically diverse candidates as this program continues. This was
sure.
the first year, I think,
Yeah, it's the
if I
first
remember
year.
correctly.
Pretty sure.
This is the inaugural
So I
class.
would, yeah, so it's like, this is such a strong foundation, and I would love to see the Game Awards start to expand geographically. Like
Yeah.
now, that, especially because it's all digital, you know, we can really look beyond, I think, maybe the Western world for those folks who are doing a lot of work in the game industry. And yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah. I love seeing like people like Blessing, people like Khalif Adams get that spotlight.
Yes.
I unfortunately did not expect this to be a big portion of the show. I was I was very surprised when like I came back and like Kyle's like, yeah, you missed the Latinx thing. I was like, damn it. So I'm surprised that even got a highlight, because when I heard it was so close to show, I was like, oh, this is something that this is a blog post. And like, and that's really essentially what it was. I would love to see like, maybe like the 5 people that got the most entries or most votes or whatever, maybe you give them a spotlight. The other thing that I also didn't appreciate, now thinking back at it, is the fact that they're like, hey, who would you like to see host or present an award? And I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, none of those people got
I don't think anybody did.
No.
anybody. And I would have loved
Very
again.
arbitrary.
Yeah, I would have loved to see, you know, someone like Paris up there presenting an award for something.
yes.
You know, but again, it goes back to this, like with Jenny, what you said, comes to clout. Like the reason why Gal Gadot's there is she's got a movie to sell
Wonder
and she
Woman.
has a big social following. You know, same with like Tom Holland. You know, he's there to remind people that there's an Uncharted movie, and he has a huge following because he's
And
Spider-Man.
he introduced Tom Holland. All Tom Holland was there to do was to introduce Nolan North to introduce the segment. I did I was like, hi, I'm Tom Holland, and I'm here to introduce Nolan North.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm the best Spider-Man. You know. End of
Well, wow. Well, that's another conversation.
I'm hoping this is one of those things that, because it's the inaugural class, it's something that Jeff and everyone at Game Awards will kind of learn what to do with as time progresses, right? I'm hoping the second class, like the second future class, which sounds like an X-Men movie,
Does
I'm hoping they'll be able to kind of be integrated into the show, right? Maybe it can be something that's done months in advance and be like, hey, we're each going to give you guys your own like award to read off, or at least input in the show and like and how we can add creators and other people like yourself to kind of be on this platform. So I'm really hoping it's just something that as time progresses, so too does the representation for this specific part.
Yep.
Agreed.
So next thing, maybe the last thing I do want to talk about, I really enjoyed the Pearl Jam song, Eddie Vedder coming in and singing. I know it might have been a little weird. I know sometimes the musical performances can be hit or miss, but when Troy came out, Troy Baker, and kind of explained how important that song was and what it meant to Neil Druckmann and what it meant to him and even the performers, it really just kind of made me fall in love with The Last of Us 2 all over again. Like as Troy is talking about it, and you can see his eyes getting more and more red as he talks, like I'm starting to cry, and then I just hear the song, and then I'm like, am I going to have to play The Last of Us 2 again as I'm bawling my eyes out? It just, to me, it goes to show like how important music is in gaming and how powerful those really special decisions can make. Like that's why The Last of Us 2 is so special. It's not the gameplay, it's not how it looks. It's because Neil Druckmann and everyone who went and made that game poured their lives into it. And I think it really, really showed. And that's the reason that I think games are so special. Like when they can have that reaction and even make someone like Eddie Vedder be like, hey, I totally want to be a part of this. Like I was honored to have it. That was something really special. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah.
I'm going to prepare for the booze, everyone.
Oh, no.
I never liked the song. I'm not. I like that. I think is it. What is she? She's singing to Dina. What was that one song she sang to Dina in the music store?
Take on Me.
Aha, there you go.
Take on Me.
I love that one. That one was
great.
like the song for me. The Pearl Jam one, because I wasn't a big fan of Pearl Jam ever.
Fair.
So I was just like, and like Kyle's getting emotional. I'm just like, yeah, it's fine.
I can believe it.
It's fine. Yeah.
I did like the musical performances this year, though. Like the London Philharmonic.
That was my spotlight.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. Like in the Persona, yeah, I thought they did a great job with the musical performances, and it was really nice to have that sort of like highlighting the games through the music in that way. I thought that was cool.
I was wondering, because all the music was like Final Fantasy and Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us and Doom and Hades, and I'm like, how are they going to tie in Animal Crossing? Like, these are like really
so
intense, like action, like we're gonna kill stuff, and then it was like, they did it perfectly.
Yeah.
They seamlessly went into Animal Crossing, like da 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 da. I was, they
So
know what they're
good.
doing there.
Yeah.
Asa, do you have anything to say on fun?
I mean,
moments
I was just
before
saying,
we
I agree
send
with
everyone
Jenny.
away?
The Philharmonic was like my highlight musical performance. Eddie Vedder. I like Pearl Jam. A couple songs, Even Flow, Let's Go. But no, Philharmonic was by far the best musical performance, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Happy to hear it. Happy to hear it. Joseph, you got anything to say before I thank you for being here? It looked like it. I didn't want to cut you off.
Though Last of Us isn't my game of the year, I'm very happy that it won all those awards.
Yeah.
There you go. You know, not angry or bitter like the internet is.
Well,
It's awful.
the internet
That is
has
the
to be angry
internet.
and bitter about something, and thanks to Jeff Keighley, they were now given this 15 minutes of anger until they move on to whatever's next.
Yeah. Honestly, I loved the genuine moments where the developers actually got to be thankful for their teams, for the people that are playing it. Yeah, Last of Us several times there with Neil Druckmann. You know, that genuine moment with the Hello Games guy where he's like, you know, drinking back at Bud Light because he did not think he was going to win, and he did, and that's awesome.
You always lose to Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly.
That
and,
was so sweet.
so sweet. And again, like the Among Us devs,
For sure.
Oh,
if there was
yeah.
an award for wholesomeness, they got it.
100%. 100%.
Speaking of wholesome,
Well, everyone,
sorry, I'm jumping the gun.
No, go for it. So I talked over you thanks to the power of the internet and not knowing social cues.
No. You're gonna do like people's sign off, and I was gonna say, speaking of wholesome, just because Jenny was in an announcement recently, but again,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
the one that's like running the. I'm
It's
sorry.
almost like Asa thinks I don't know how to do my job.
No, you do. I know. Segues are just fun.
Oh, before I just can't believe I didn't say this
Go
game.
for it.
I just have to shout this game out because this actually was probably the game that I came away most anticipating, besides maybe Back 4 Blood season. I can't believe I didn't mention season earlier. Just like stunning. I think visually one of the most interesting games because it was also not going for hyperrealism.
For sure.
And it's just about exploring cultures and like recording them and trying to preserve them and like it just looks fascinating and beautiful. And I think it's by Scavenger Studio, if I remember correctly.
Pretty
so.
sure you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. It looks so good.
Yeah, really
So,
excited
so good.
for seasons. That was another one I was bummed that we didn't talk about. I'm like, oh man, we didn't get to talk about seasons, so I'm glad you brought it
I was
up.
like, I had to do it because I was like that, like two very different games, but yeah, that one was along with Back 4 Blood.
Yeah.
No,
It was
it was
jaw-dropping
beautiful.
moment
Just
seeing
so
that game.
wholesome. Speaking of wholesome, Asa. Well, one, I want to, of course, Jenny, Asa, Joseph, I want to thank you guys so much for taking time, sitting down with us, and kind of breaking apart the Game Awards. It's been a blast. I know there's so much that we could have covered, but I think we did a pretty good job breaking it down. I want to ask you guys like where people can go to find you. Jenny, I definitely want to start with you with that wholesome segue. Jenny, where can people go to kind of keep up to date with what you're doing, the fantastic stuff you create? Like, how can more people find you?
I am on Twitter a probably obscene amount. It's at KimChica25, and I also stream quite a bit, most weeknights actually, at twitch.tv/KimChica. And I am going to be the host of the next Wholesome Direct, which has got a little holiday edition coming up on December 16th. So that's going to be really, really fun.
Fantastic. Everyone,
Yeah.
please go see that. Jenny is fantastic. As you've heard on the show, wonderful opinions, wonderful takes, and definitely go check out her streams. They are wonderful, especially if you need some time just to relax, just have good vibes with some good people. I highly recommend it. Mr. Joseph, where can people go to keep up to date with? I think you have a podcast. Is that correct?
I think last time I checked, yeah. You can find the Trophy Room on YouTube, the video versions, every Thursday. It's a PlayStation channel where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest and greatest in all things PlayStation. Again, the Trophy Room on YouTube. You can find the podcast version of the show on Google Play, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, wherever you find a podcast service of your liking, you can find the show there. And hey, Asa, you were on it just a few weeks ago.
I was.
So there you
and
go.
your shirt, like, show your.
Yeah.
I told you I wanted that dope shirt.
Look at this. It's a shirt.
Plug.
It got dirty because of the stream yesterday, and it is what it is.
That's crazy, Joseph. If someone wanted to get that shirt that wasn't as dirty, where would they be able to do that?
Teespring at a very confusing URL that I'll give you, so maybe there'll be a link in the description.
You bet your
you
bottom
gotta get that
dollar there'll
custom
be a link in
URL,
the
come
description,
on.
so everyone can go purchase that beautiful, beautiful shirt. Not specifically the one Joseph is wearing, but maybe that's a Patreon tier. I don't know how he does it.
Get his
Maybe he
dirty
gives away his
laundry.
clothes if you donate enough money.
$17.
17 bucks
on Patreon
So,
tier.
might even be cheaper than the actual shirt. I don't
It
know.
is. I don't know.
It's used, so that makes sense. It's a used
Exactly.
shirt, so you're getting a discount, and you get that special Joseph scent on it. Well, everyone, I'm going to pitch it on over to Asa. Asa, is there anything you would like to tell the beautiful Borderline family?
Yeah. So you can find me at agreenriver07. I also am on Twitter quite a bit. And that's the best place to find me, and probably the only place to find me specifically, because the other ones are a little bit more personal. I'm just throwing it out there because I keep getting friend requests, and I feel so bad that I'm like declining them. And I'm like, this is more like personal people that I know, but Twitter,
You gotta
like,
have
let's
them.
go. I'll talk to you all day long. And then, because I know you'll do like
I'm
other
quite
things.
the opposite. You want to play on PlayStation, Mr. Bad Bits, same name. I might get to you a few months late, but it'll happen.
And then for more Game Awards stuff from BLE, our very own Nate Pressler is doing a write-up that's going to go up this weekend, because this is probably going to go up today or tomorrow. So this weekend you can see his write-up, and there's going to be some more stuff in detail. But yeah. Oh, and after we finish recording tonight, I'm streaming, so that's a thing. So twitch.tv/Borderline
Dead.
Entertainment. There's going to be some Left 4 Dead 2 tonight, or Left 4 Dead 1. I think that's where we're at. I think it's the last one. Sorry. I'm trying to figure out. We've done it for like 4 nights so far.
That's crazy.
And there's
Four's
like,
it's in the game. Left 4 Dead. You did in 4 nights.
I know, right? Yeah.
It's almost like you planned that. Like you're a fantastic content creator.
But yeah, just tune in, and thank you for watching this.
There you go. Everyone, you can find me on Twitter at Josh Biddick. I will be friendly to you as I am to everyone. Or you could check out some other work I do on all podcast services. You can check out the Up and Comer podcast, where I sit down each and every week and interview some fantastic people, much like the people we have here in front of me, and just share their stories and spread that good, sweet love and cheer to everyone, and try to, boost everyone's numbers, because everyone likes to succeed in their dreams. Other than that, of course, make sure you check out BLE at borderlineentertainment.com. You can see all sorts of reviews. It's a good place to get the shows. We've got some really cool reviews right now. Right now on the featured page, Asa Green River, he himself wrote a review for Immortal Phoenix Rising, so you should definitely go check that out. Of course, make sure you're liking, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, so anytime you're like, hey, I wonder what Borderline Entertainment's doing, you'll be like, ding, oh, snap, YouTube, you just went off because I hit that notification bell, and now I know that Ace's beautiful face is putting up the link for the new Game Chat, which might be up, the Game Chat Variety Show, because that's also going up on YouTube, and you're like, whoa, these are so many cool guests. I can't wait to see and learn about all these cool people, and then go watch all their shows, and then everyone's happy and does fantastic stuff. And of course, you can check out patreon.com and look for Borderline Entertainment so you can support us. We would love the help. Anything you give to us goes right back to you so we can make better quality content for you. Of course, we also have merch ourselves, fantastic t-shirts, not worn by Joseph yet. Maybe that will also be for $17 on our Patreon, so we can then have Joseph wear shirts and then send them to you. Well, everyone, other than that, that is all I have for you. So as always, be well, Borderline family.